I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
Fueling is like a key part. Like the biggest thing that like you're going to build in volume, then you are going to rip through glycogen quite a bit. If you start off from like breakfast to the evening, for me, like generally I always have a good breakfast. I try and stay away from like loads of sugars in the morning, so like some iron, fibre, good in carbohydrate. Always like a good coffee because that's it's a good kickstart to the day. And generally speaking, I'd probably have like some cereal, and I'd always have another source of like carbohydrate because I know that I'm going to burn a lot more glycogen. That's how I would have my breakfast. Then within like 90 minutes, I'm generally out on the bike then, and this is where a lot of people, I'm not going to eat for the first 2 hours. Like I'm on training camp, I want to lose, I want to lose weight. But generally, like you could be training, like if you look at like a long endurance ride, for example, like even a recovery day is probably going to be a couple of hours on a training camp. But generally, you're going to be training 3 to 6 hours. The art of recovery is you're always thinking about like the next day, not just that session. So for me is I always have like a good mix, like a good mixture of carbohydrate drink, and I always take on like solid fuel. I don't like if I've got carbohydrates in my bottle, I generally stay away from gels, but like you've just got to work out what works for you really. But even within like the first 20 minutes, like I'm eating like consistently, probably around like every 30 to 40 minutes, and like generally taking on like 70 to 80 grams of carbs like this time of year. And then I'd do my training, and then generally I would always try and get back. I might have a protein shake, but then I want a good quality meal, like like have a nice sandwich, a baguette. Some people might have a pasta, a bit of pizza, and again, if you look at, I don't know, you might, pizza, that's not the greatest meal, but I might just have that like one day, then the next day I have something else, like it's a varied, balanced diet then. You've had that meal, then try and get a kip, do you know what I mean? Like for most of us, we've got busy lifestyles, like I've been having like 20 to 30 minutes, then I recover, might wake up, have a cup of tea, and then it's, like it's hitting the buffet then, and you've got all this amazing selection of food. And I think, like with the buffet in the evenings, it's just looking at, like what training did I do that day and what training have I got tomorrow. And again, just trying to, like not going mad with, like, you don't want like a mountain of plate, like a rubbish, but just, like just make sure that you're structuring like a good quality carbohydrate, a good protein, I don't know, like a salad, like the greens, just have like a varied, like not just greens, like have a bit of beetroot in it or a bit of pepper, a varied balance really. You might have a sweet one day, just don't have it the next. Have a yogurt or a bit of fruit. You might have a beer, but just don't have 5, do you know what I mean? And the biggest thing that most people do, talking about drinking, it's like you come to the last day, we're going to celebrate, it's been an amazing camp. Worst thing you can do. Obviously, like the key to this then is, then you want to get to bed early, like leave a couple of hours between, like your meal, and then you start the process like each day, and then you recover and you'll come out of this like, flying out, realistically. Yeah, losing weight on a training camp is always like, it's always, it just depends like how much weight and how bad you've been eating coming into it realistically. I think like the biggest thing that you can cut back a little bit, but I wouldn't go like berserk with all of this, because you've got to remember, if you're doing a lot of volume, you're going to be ripping through a lot more carbohydrates. So I don't know, like if you look at an average day, you might burn 1,000 calories like within a ride, where some of these days you're going to probably be burning like 4,000 to 5,000 calories. So you've got to be sensible with this. Like you can use like things like MyFitnessApp, and or you might structure it in a different way. But just be aware that like you've got to think about like, am I going to recover like for the next day? You just don't want, I wouldn't go ballistic on like a camp. You know, like definitely no crash dieting. Like if you just say to yourself, well, maybe I can lose like 1 or 2 kilos coming out of this, but you probably don't want to be losing like 5.